Pappaji, we're trying to make a film about your teaching. How can we make a film when you say you have no teachings?
To have any teaching is preaching. Teacher has no teaching, no method, no way. To know thy own self, you don't need any teaching. What you really are, always you are that itself. No one is going to teach you. You have to realize who you are, here and now, this moment.
Pappaji, you're telling people to look in a particular direction. You are saying look towards your own self. Isn't telling people this a teaching?
No direction. If they don't look any direction, looking at any direction is abiding to any direction, to any object. So they get lost. So if they do away with all directions, no concept of any direction in their mind, then they will know what they have been really, and they will know that they are that itself, which they have been always and would be.
Do you regard yourself as a guru, Pappaji?
No, not at all. I never declare I am a guru.
But what about all these people who are coming to you, Pappaji? The ones who think that they are your devotees. Are they your devotees?
When there is no guru, there is no question of any devotees. They come to see me. I welcome them. Whosoever come, I welcome them. If they don't come, wish them good luck. When they leave me, farewell. Be happy wherever you are.
Pappaji, you encourage everyone who comes to you to look for their own self. What motivates you to do this?
My own happiness, because they are sleeping and they are suffering. When the treasure is within them and they are suffering, everybody, all the human beings of this world are suffering and finding peace and happiness in the objects, and this has turned out in the end pain and suffering. There is no object in the mind, no person, no thing, no concept that can return you happiness and peace of mind. So I just tell them, give them this information. Don't look here, there, anywhere. Peace is within you and within the heart of all beings. So you keep quiet, don't look anywhere, don't allow your mind to abide anywhere, and you will see that it is peace, happiness itself. That is the fundamental truth, and every being in the world is happiness itself.
Pappaji, I think that most people who come to see you would say that you're giving out something more than information. Almost everyone who comes to you feels that there is some power, some grace in your presence, and that this power and this grace enables them to find out who they really are. Do you have any comment on this?
Definitely, I am pointing out at their own self, which is the fountain of the grace, of love, of beauty. Here rises the love and peace also. Just point them out. Look within yourself for 1 second, and you will not search, not find. You will see that you are peace itself. Just point out to say, people who are sleeping, it's better to wake them up, because in the dream they're suffering, and in the dream this is only a projection what they're suffering for, seeing a tiger, a robber pouncing on them, but actually this is on their projection. So stop all the projections and you will see the dream was a dream, it was not a reality. So whatever you see, it's a dream. Wherever there is an object, wherever there is a seer and the seen are objects and subjects. And if you get rid of it somehow, of this relationship between object and subject, what's left?
When people come to see you and you look at them and they say, Papaji, I'm suffering, do you feel compassion for them? And when in your presence they wake up, do you rejoice? Do you have any reactions like these?
I do feel compassion because what is there? What else is there for me? I have compassion for all beings who are suffering and who are dreaming. I just tell them, wake up, my dear friends, my dear children, wake up. There's no suffering at all. It's only projection of your mind and which has produced the suffering, and you are dreaming only. Wake up from the dream and all the suffering will end.
Can we talk about something different now, Papaji? Could you tell us the story of the Japanese professor with one lung who couldn't stop laughing? I think that's a very good story about your teaching. Can you tell the whole story?
Somehow he came to know from Japan, he came to see me, and I was living in my house, and he asked the people downstairs, I want to see the master. So this man was a Zen master, himself a Zen master and a professor in some university in Japan. So he says, I cannot go up. He says, Papaji is very busy, some other people are also there. And then he says, okay, slowly, if you give me some help, you help me and I will go up. And there are many, steps are not many and they are not very high. So somehow he came, I made him sit in front of me. But what was going on? Only laughing. Only laughing. So he was a Zen background. So I was not teaching, only laughing. Everybody was laughing, and there were people from about 32 countries, Westerns, Indians also. So they were laughing, and then he also started laughing. So he laughed and laughed. There was no particular talk. So then there was a time for the lunch, and lunch was on the ground floor. So everybody came and lunch was served to him. And then he spoke to some people. He was on one lung. He was on one lung, and one lung was taken away. And the doctors told me, you have not to laugh, and you have not to go up anytime. And when I came down and when I laughed, I thought my other lung has been replaced. I feel, and then he was feeling actually that his lung was replaced. And then he was all the time laughing and laughing. He didn't have any questions. So he returned back, he said, I will invite you to Japan, but I said, I'm going to Venezuela. Then he said, I will send one of my students again, not only I will send you a ticket or invitation, I will send you one of my best students. And his student came when he returned from Venezuela and some other countries. Then he said, when he returned from Lakhnau, and people asked him, what have you brought from Lakhnau? What is the teaching of Punjaji? Then he started laughing. What is the teaching? Laughing, he said. and dancing also. I think people who attended the satsang still remember, never any satsang has taken place in Lakhnau. And teaching was only laughing. Because when you laugh, you try. When anybody laughs, he has no mind, no thought, no problem, no suffering.
So long as the laughter persists, there is no mind?
No mind, yes, you try. You see, people, those who don't laugh, they have got mind and they look very serious and many problems also. So they have mind because for any problem, suffering, you need mind. It's the mind that suffers. So you laugh away. Any problem comes, you laugh away. And it goes away, it runs away, it flies away.
So laughter is a response to the absence of pain and suffering. Would you say that?
What do you say?
When all the mental problems go, then spontaneously laughter arises.
Of course, yes. Only man who has got rid of all problems, he laughs, he dances. All problems, he has only to dance and only to laugh, you see. There was one saint, he was living on the top of a mountain, midnight, full moon, and he started laughing and laughing. All the people of the village woke up. What happened to this monk? All they went on the top of the hillock, asked him, sir, what happened? Oh, look, there's a cloud, there's a cloud. Many people see the cloud, but who laughs? It is for the one who has no mind. Anything he will see, it gives him occasion to laugh. Because he become that thing. You see, at that time, crowd is there, and moon is behind, and this is enough to laugh. Yes.
So when you see the world, Papaji, you think it's a big joke. Are you laughing at it all the time?
I only joke. What else is it? I don't study any sutras. I have never studied any sutras, nor I refer to any sutras. I make joke only.
People in the West are being continuously bombarded with spiritual advice. All kinds of groups and teachers are saying, join us and we will give you happiness. What exactly is different about your message, and why should anyone believe it or listen to it?
They advise the people to destroy them. To destroy them, and I tell them to reject those teachers and preachers and come to me. I will give you good advice. Don't listen to anybody's advice, neither to my advice. Peep within you and listen to your own voice. What do you hear? Don't listen to any advice, because any advice belongs to the past. Any advice, some advisor has been reading this advice from some book, heard from someone. So all advices belong to the past. So there's no advice to know thyself. So don't listen to anybody's advice. You keep quiet. This is the best advice. I give advice, keep quiet. Don't think and don't make any effort. This is my advice. And if you follow it, you have done very well for you and for everybody and all the beings of the world.
So following any advice, except for the advice, be quiet, takes one away from the self, not towards it.
Of course it has, because it takes you to the past. Any advice, or you give me any instant, any advice that you can mention, he has heard from someone or read from some sutra, any advice. advisors have not shown good results, and those advisors teach you to fight, quarrel with the neighbors and other people who don't belong to your church, isn't it? You follow their advice, other teacher tells you follow my advice, so there is a quarrel, you see.
Pappaji, you have often said that a strong desire for enlightenment is necessary. Are any other qualifications required?
I don't think this also is a qualification, you see. It rises from within, somewhere, rare one, it rises from within and dances on the bosom of the freedom itself, enjoys for some time, plays and settles down, you see. This is the desire. Because when the desire arises for any object, you are happy to meet the object. This freedom is neither object nor subject, you see. It rises from the same source, plays on the same source, always, and settles down in the source. There's no problem with the rise and fall. So it is the same thing whether it rises or not. People who have got desire for something else, they only call it the desire for freedom will rise. I don't feel that this will rise at all. I don't know if any desire for freedom arose in me. I don't think. It was already there, you see. From childhood it was there.
You say that a strong desire for enlightenment is necessary, and at the same time you are also telling everyone to be quiet. How can these two coexist together? Can one have a strong desire for freedom and at the same time have an absolutely quiet mind?
It's not the strength and weakness of the desire. It is your weakness and strength, how you are holding it, and you have something else to do at the same time. Therefore, you are looking at some other desires also. Therefore, that is the strength of other desires. So if you check those desires which are stronger or which are weaker, you check both the desires, weaker desire and stronger desire, this alone will remain as it is, you see.
Do we need to believe in anything, Pappaji? Do we, for example, have to believe that the Guru's words are correct? Do we have to believe that we can attain freedom? Do we have to believe I am already free? What are the minimum number of things that we have to believe in?
Yes, of course. You need faith. Faith in your own self, that I am free. If you at all want to believe in faith, this is the best faith you can have. I am already free. When you can have a faith, I am suffering, I am bound, why not to have the best faith, then I am free? What difference does it make?
So if one has absolute conviction that I am free, then sooner or later that conviction will mature into an experience. Is that what you're saying?
Not the experience, not the experience. Experience is with something else. So this desire will vanish. This desire will vanish itself. This desire for freedom will vanish. Knowing it that it is freedom itself. But since you were engaged in other desires, they have left you. So it remained what it was.
Pappaji, I've heard you say on innumerable occasions that enlightenment is something which is very easy to discover. And yet, at the same time, I've also heard you say, also on innumerable occasions, that the number of people on this planet who have fully woken up to their own reality can be counted with one's fingers. If it is such an easy thing to discover, why do so few succeed?
It's so easy because you have not to work for it. It's so easy, you have not to go anywhere. You have not to go anywhere. You have to stay quiet. Therefore, it is very easy to attain freedom, is very easy, but it becomes difficult. The people say difficult because they are otherwise engaged. So to give up their attachment to other things is difficult. Not the freedom is not difficult. To disengage yourself from other attachments may be difficult. That you have to decide once upon a time, now, or next life.
In order to succeed, Papaji, is it necessary to have a master who is himself spiritually realized?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Otherwise, how to know that you are on the right track?
Many people in the West, Papaji, have spent a long, long time looking for a realized master. What advice can you give them? How would you advise them to conduct a search for a fully enlightened being?
They cannot find a true master, cannot be seen by the eyes. Cannot be seen by the eyes. Therefore, if they try to see by their senses, they can't make a good judgment, because master is beyond the senses and beyond any judgment. When you want to be free, this freedom itself is there which you need. But you do not depend on the freedom itself. And you don't understand the language of freedom, the language of emptiness, the language of love, because you have sold yourself to other objects. You don't understand this thing. So if you are very intensely in want of this thing for freedom and you don't understand, so this freedom out of compassion takes a physical form to speak to you in your own tongue, so that you understand what is freedom, and then it teaches that I am your own self. And then it enters your own self and becomes one. This is the role of the teacher, to point out to you, I am yourself, I am that itself. This is the role of the teacher. For some time it becomes a teacher to just apprise you of the fact that you are that, you don't listen. Therefore he becomes teacher. That becomes teacher to tell you, you are that itself. And then you see teacher and you is one.
Papaji, Ramana Maharshi agreed with you in that we have no capacity to determine who is or who is not enlightened. But at the same time, he did say that there were two useful clues which one should look for when one was trying to determine who is enlightened and who is not. He said, if we meet someone who deals with everyone around him with full equality, and if we feel peace in his presence, then we may take these two signs to be legitimate indications that the man may be enlightened. Do you agree with this?
Of course, absolutely agree. So you need not ask a question, because you will be misled by the statements, tall talks of the teachers. You will be misled. And if you feel your mind is quiet and you feel some kind of happiness and peace, and that can be the outer symptoms of a teacher, and only those people who are intensely devoted to freedom, they can only sense it, not others. So when you go to a teacher, you keep quiet. You need not give any question. Don't expect any answer. You just see, sit quiet and feel if your mind is quiet or not. If it is quiet, then you expect this is the man who can teach you. This is the man who is worth staying near.
Papaji, you're telling people to sit in satsang with a realized master. When the guru dies and physical satsang with him is no longer possible, what is the disciple to do next?
If he is a disciple, he will not agree that the master dies. The master was not the body, body dies. But the master never was a body. All the bodies will die. So death of the body, it doesn't matter for the disciple only. Master is something else. And that master is always seated within the heart of a disciple. So he doesn't need anything else. He knows perfectly well, I don't miss my master. It is here and now, always with me. So this is the relation between master and the disciple.
So if the disciple has the attitude that the Guru is not the body which just died, he is my own self, then with that attitude, if he is not already realized, he can realize the self after the master's death.
He should not lead. His work is done. Why should he look for another thing? Why should he look? Looking for is, you need a body and mind. So master, when he died, he took away along with him his body and mind. That was the teacher. Any teacher who dies, if he had not taken away his body and mind, that teacher is not to be accepted.
Papaji, can you please describe your own enlightenment for us? And in particular, can you tell us what role your own master, Ramana Maharshi, played in it?
It's a long story.
Oh. Well, you tell a short version.
It's a long story. How to begin? From childhood, but I can enter the ashram itself straight away to begin with. I'd entered the ashram and then all was quiet. All was quiet, and this man is quiet, incarnation of silence itself, not speaking to anyone. But then it was tremendous silence. I never saw anybody so silent, you see. So the people who go there, their mind doesn't enter the hall. He sits quiet and silence was there. So what he taught was to keep quiet. Keep quiet. Many people didn't understand. He will simply speak, but no one still has understood what he will say. He will say how to be free, how to get enlightenment. And sometimes he said, you need grace, and many times. But most of the time he said in Tamil, Summa Iru. And now people do not understand the meaning of this, but it struck me, the meaning. Summa Iru later on I asked for. Then he said, what you are doing, you don't do. But I kept Summa Iru means keep quiet. Summa Iru. I use this word often. The best teaching is keep quiet. And if it's very strong, comes from that quietness itself with authority, immediately it works, you see. It has to work, you see. It must come from authority, you see. Not any man say, keep quiet. It will not work. It will not work.
Can you tell us exactly what happened on the day you finally got it, when you sat with Ramana Maharshi? What exactly happened?
I was a devotee of Krishna from childhood. Devotee of Krishna, so that Krishna even would manifest in physical form. I could see with the senses, as I see other things, so much attached. After spending some 4 days in Adi Annamlai on the other side of the mountain, Arunachala, then Maharishi asked me where you had been. I said, on the other side, staying by myself and playing with Krishna. Oh, see, very good, you have been playing with Krishna? Yes, sir, I was playing with Krishna. He is my friend. Do you see him now? No, sir, I don't. So he said, what appears and disappears is not real. It's not real. The seer remained. You saw him, he disappeared. You remain, same seer. Now you are here also. Seer remained. Now find out who the seer is. So it was a word only, no? It was a word. But then it struck me. I became the seer, you see. I became the seer. So whatever word I often say in satsang also, whatever you hear, don't hold the word, go to the root of the word, you see. Then instantly you will get, when you say the word freedom, desire for freedom, you immediately go to freedom itself, you see. And when someone speaks about some other object, let us go to lunch, you speak of food. So you are one with the food. Only why trouble with the freedom? When we speak of freedom, we must be one with the freedom, smell freedom, enjoy freedom, you see. But this doesn't happen. For other things, everything else we understand. The word takes us to that place.
Many people in the West, Papaji, will have done some form of meditation. Many of them will have practiced very intensively for many, many years. I have heard you say on many occasions that doing meditation will not bring about enlightenment. Can you please explain why you think this is so?
First of all, meditation is just to fatigue your body and mind so that you get fed up and find there may be something else. There may be something else, so he will be in search of a teacher. Then he will not tell him to meditate. He will tell him some unique method. He will tell him, keep quiet. He will not tell him to do anything. Doing and not doing is not the work of a teacher. It is for the preachers. You have to do this and you have not to do this thing. Teacher has no teaching, no do's and no don'ts. He tells you, keep quiet. There can be nothing else that the teacher can say. And this is going to work. And this could be the best teaching that the teacher could give. If you listen to him, as I was telling, if he says, keep quiet, not only you hear, but you become quietness, you see. What is the trouble? And you see in satsang also, listening also, when I tell them, inquire, investigate, who am I? And they say, we can't do it. We can't do it. We have been doing and we are in trouble, in tension, headaches. So they are otherwise engaged. So therefore, some rare one gets at it. And I do not know why. I cannot give you anything on my own, why it is not working. Why it's not working, you see. And if you keep quiet, you will fall in love with it, you see. After all, everybody needs happiness and peace, whatever they are doing. And there can be no happiness, no peace, no love, no beauty anywhere else, in any other object except this, here and now. Therefore, you don't need any meditation. Because meditation, you need mind to meditate. You need mind to meditate. Therefore, the result of any process has to be mental. Then you need body, such and such posture, hand to be planted this way, mudra to be kept this way. So it is going to be physical. So any physical activity gives you physical result, mental result. Any good idea that attracts you, sounds good, you follow it, that could be mental or intellectual ideas. Then the result will be intellectual. Don't shun all these ideas, you see. Physical, mental, also spiritual, you see. So if you get rid of all notions, what you have heard, and ideas, then you are emptiness itself.
Many people have tried to be quiet, to be still, and they haven't succeeded. What are they doing wrong?
To give up the intention to keep quiet. If they can't keep quiet, give up the intention to keep quiet, then what will happen?
You often ask people to ask themselves, who am I? Why does this work when everything else fails?
Because this is not a method. This is not a method. Other methods are just clipping the branches, but this is striking at the root of the mind, not the branches, you see. Branches will grow again, you see. So this is striking at the root, uproot the mind itself, and this inquiry uproots the mind. When you inquire, who am I? So it strikes at the root of the mind. There's no mind at all with this inquiry. I is the mind, you know. And now you are questioning. I is questioning to I itself. No one has ever questioned. Who am I? No one. Who are you? Who is he? Who is she? Who am I? No one ever has questioned. Therefore, it's the first time one can ask. So it's striking at the root of all creation, you see. Not person, striking the root of the creation. Then there will be no creation at all, and no creator also, and no beings also. It strikes to that depth, you see.
Many people have asked themselves, who am I? And didn't get the right answer. Mind still remained. Should they keep on asking till they get the right answer?
No, only once. I say only once. Only once. It has stuck there. It is stuck there at the right point. When you say, who am I? It is stuck at the right place. Don't expect any answer. This expectation, he must get rid of this expectation or intention for any answer. So therefore, this question is not to get answer. This question is like this, to merge a river merging into the ocean. So it doesn't go into the ocean to remain a river. It's merged now. Like this inquiry, who am I, is merging into the divinity, self, emptiness itself, you see. So he has to keep quiet and see what happened. But after this inquiry, he must not wait for the answer. So if he has asked the question, after having finished this question, that is the answer. Immediately this question is finished. Who am I? After I, it is ended. So I make a diagram, drawings also, see. After this, what is this after I? So you become that where I has discharged into. It has to be emptiness.
Papaji, you frequently say truth exalts a holy person, and you also say that a holy person is one whose mind is spotless, pure, immaculate. And yet at the same time, you never ask anyone to make their minds spotless, pure, or immaculate. How can truth exalt us if we don't do anything to make our minds pure, spotless, immaculate?
You cannot, because the mind itself is a dust. So you cannot clean the dust with the dust. So if you have a mirror, it's dusty mirror, and you want to clean it, you bring some kind of dust and put another layer of dust. This is cleaning the mind, another dust. So anything doing, any other method, you want to clean the mind with some yoga, or with some bhoga, or with some meditation, or whatever it is. So it is putting another dust on the mind. So what I say is, keep quiet means, is removing the mirror itself. so that no dust can alight anywhere. So this is holiness, I mention. So that the truth exalts the holiness, and now you are holy. Remove the mirror. And if you are a mirror, your face will be reflected. So this is a spot. With this spot, you are not holy. It's a reflection. How to remove the reflection? If you throw away the mirror, this reflection will return back to your original face. So if you throw away the mind for 1 second, this thought of holiness will reveal itself, merge back into the holiness. Therefore, truth exalts a holy person. Therefore, you have to be holy. How to be holy? Remove the mirror, remove all reflection which you are seeing in the objects, which is the dust.
The people who are watching this program, Papa, can you tell them what is preventing them from being aware of who they are right now, at this instant, while they watch you?
They may not be watching me. Maybe watching something else, you know what they're saying. I tell them, you don't watch me, you watch something else.
Most people, Papaji, they think that enlightenment is something which can be achieved after a long period of arduous preparation. What is wrong with this belief?
This is wrong from the first instance. It's wrong. This is belief, no? Why should you believe? Any belief is wrong. Why should you believe? Do you need any belief that you are David Godman? You are very sure about it. No? Why to ask and go to Madhukar, you tell me where is David Godman? You are living in his house. He said, there you are. And this is your place. How you were lost on the way, you must have gone with someone else. So we go generally with someone else, some other idea, some other thing, and we are stuck up with those things and forget that we have to return to home. Yes.
I think this is a major problem in the West, Papaji. People will not be convinced that they are ready for realization right now. They all think they have to do something.
Of course, yes, doing that's what I hear. Therefore, although yoga teachers are very successful in the West, yoga teachers, and I find yoga even in small villages. I have seen some Indian, there are 5,000 yoga teachers, 5,000 yoga teachers I have seen in Europe. 5,000, I met them, you see. And they are yoga teachers doing very well. I said, what you are teaching them? And they say how to keep young up to 90 years. That's what they aim, and yoga can fulfill this. This also, but yoga generally is written, there many books are also there, you can see them in the bookstalls on the footpaths. Yoga for sex, must have seen. So yoga is mostly to upkeep the body, physical body, to keep well.
Papaji, many people experience what they call happiness as a result of indulging in physical pleasures. What is the difference between the happiness they experience and the happiness which you know to be your own nature? Is there a difference?
Happiness with the?
Many people
yes.
experience happiness as a result of indulging in physical pleasures. Is that happiness which they experience the same happiness which you know to be your own self? Or is it a different kind of happiness?
No. To be your own self is the only happiness, you see. All other happiness is is to fatigue yourself and find out this is not the happiness. Because after that they will, if you again repeat that same process, it means that thing, that place has not given you happiness, therefore it wants to be repeated. So
I'm not talking about processes, Pappaji, I'm talking about the result. If I am suddenly very, very happy as a result of doing something, is my happiness the same as your happiness, or is it different?
Happiness is one. Happiness is one, but when you attribute it something which is not abiding, then it is different. Your happiness, when you say my happiness and your happiness, then it is not that happiness which I point at. I point at just happiness, not my happiness and not your happiness. And the difference only is that you are using my and you. If you remove you and me, then no difference.
What about states such as ecstasy and bliss? Are they mind experiences or are they from the self?
Ecstasy is a state of mind. For some time it will stay, sometime it will stay, and then it will again dwindle and return back. Ecstasy, you see. Many people get into ecstatic states listening a poem, a poetry, some singing song, or some with other things, you see, get into ecstasy and it goes away. This depends upon the circumstances, but bliss, when you have bliss, is not that also, not even bliss. Not even bliss, but bliss can be attributed to dawn before the sunrise. There's a dawn and you know very well now sun will arise. Sun is not there, but something shows now is dawn, you say. So when you feel some bliss and you are not attributing to something else, so you are now focused, seeing the dawn. Now it is the east side, sun will rise. So your focus is entirely on the east, on one particular point where you see the dawn, because dawn is not in the west, you see. Therefore, when the bliss is coming, you go on focusing on the bliss, and so that you become one with the bliss. And then this bliss also is rejected. Bliss also is mental state.
Do we have to reject it consciously, or will it happen automatically?
Happens automatically. Yes.
Because some people say that bliss is an obstacle to realization, and that the final experience is peace and stillness. And
this comes under yoga. Some yoga they mention bliss, you see. This is one of the koshas, you see. Physical, and then sensual, then mental, then intellectual, then blissful. Sheaths they call it, kosha, you see. Annamaya kosha, and then pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, then vijnanamaya kosha, buddhi, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. So these are the walls. And then if you reject these, you are not to hold on to bliss also. And if you can reject and don't get attached to this thing, one by one, remove the physical body, remove the mental body, remove the prana body, and remove the intellectual also when your intellect is working, and stop the intellectual, then bliss will come. Bliss will come when the intellect is not working. So even bliss is come, don't get attached. The most yogis get attached with this thing. This is from the yoga method, you see. Yoga method, they describe koshas, you see. And then you get attached to this kosha and don't get attached permanently, don't give up. Stay quiet, you see. And then it will become that and mind is now absorbing the bliss. Absorbing the bliss, and mind is now becoming bliss. And now sometime it's not for the bliss to be rejected. Now from the other side, beyond mind, no mind, freedom itself is coming to receive you, embrace you. So then only no one can reject the bliss, you see. So you have done very well if you feel bliss. Bliss of Atman, Atmananda it's called. Then it will take the form of Atman itself, then everything is gone, and that, even that is not final, somehow. Somehow that also, mind, no mind is now still alive. Even no mind is still alive, it is related to mind still, you see. So fathomlessness is this. Then your work begins here, which is going to be very beautiful work, which now before you have done well, and your task is over. Now this is the task of beyond. And now beyond is now taking hold of you and revealing itself more and more every moment, different beauty, different love, different form even, you see. Different form even, so that you are always engaged with it and it is always engaged with it. So that cannot be get rid of even if the body leaves, you see. So that can be described as the ultimateness. Yes.
Papaji, no mind, still mind and dead mind. What is the difference between them?
Silent mind is to temporary keep quiet, temporary suppression of the objects in the mind, you keep quiet many times. Somebody wants something from you and you tell him, I don't have, or you are not willing to give, silence for some time. And still mind is also temporary, stillness of mind is also temporary. For some meditation, concentration will result in still mind when for a long time, when your mind is still like a flame of the candle, when again the breeze will come, the candle will again flicker out, any other thought will come again, the stillness will be washed away with the wind of a thought. Now no mind, I am hearing this question for the first time. It has never been asked to me by any person from India or from the West. It has never been asked. I am very happy for the first time to deal with this question. So no mind, you want to say? First of all, to speak about no mind, we have to see what is mind. So mind is something, we start from consciousness, okay? When the consciousness wants to know itself, consciousness wants to know itself, about itself. Who am I? As you are there, yet you need a mirror sometimes to appreciate your makeup. You want to see yourself. Then the mirror will reflect. So from there arises, when the consciousness, in the consciousness there is a wave to know, asking, consciousness asking itself to know about consciousness itself. This wave is now rising. Wave in the ocean is now rising. So that wave now becomes I. Separates. Same consciousness, it is now separated from the consciousness called I. So when now mind is left alone, I is all this thing, what has happened. What you see is I only. I must be there when you see a tree, when you see a mountain, a river, men, animals. This is I only. You need I. So this I is now rejected everything. I alone is there. It cannot go back, return it, or decide it. This is the desire for freedom. Is want to return its original place. So desire to go back is no more there. So this I which arises from the consciousness is now returning to consciousness, and this decision is become no mind now. I is gone. I is gone, and this I was mind. So this I is now rejected. That in between I and consciousness, this in between is called no mind. In between is called no mind, and thus when in between will merge into consciousness itself, then in between will become consciousness itself. As we have this cup, and inside ether, emptiness, space inside, outside also space, and we call it inner space, and this is outer space. Why? Because this form is called cup, name, form, length, breadth, diameter. So when this name and form is removed, this ether and this Mahat means greater ether become one. They were always one, and why we called inside and outside, why we called freedom. So from this point of view, I call the inner space is now separate than the outer space. Why? Because name and form. And this name and form is I. When this I goes, this wall is removed, this becomes this. Still, remembrance will be there. Remembrance of no mind is there because you are coming from mind. So now I have no mind. So gradually, slowly, for a long time, how it happens I do not know, this no mind merges back into beyond. So now you have no mind to work on your own account. You are simply being graced and picked up and obey what it is doing, and you are not doing anything. Doership is gone, mind is no more there, and all these other functions of the mind are no more there. So you stay this time for the stipulated period as has been charted earlier. This life will stay for the rest of the time. And some people cannot stand the shock of freedom more than 21 days. That is stated in the books. More than 21 days they can't stand this happiness. If some middle class man gets a Derby lottery for $1 billion, he doesn't know what to do. Some people get heart attack, you see. So much happiness, you see. So this happiness takes away the body itself. But he is liberated, doesn't matter now or tomorrow, body is not in question. But some people can live only to benefit other people. So this benefit is not coming from some person. Going back to your previous question, it is coming direct from consciousness, and that person, that teacher knows that it is not me. I am simply picked up to speak, and it is not me who is speaking. And if it knows that someone is speaking on him, it is arrogance, egoistic, it will not work, you see. So if you have that experience, it's not your problem what you are speaking and who's benefited and who's not benefited, who comes to you or who doesn't come to you. It remains the same.
Has consciousness ordered you to teach, Papaji? Is that what you were saying?
Well, no, you, Bhaskaraji, you and she has become so one that I cannot know if it can order me.
So some power is compelling you to give satsang, yes?
Some power is like this thing. Now I want to drink water. I say, Punja ji, pick up the glass. Yes, sir, I picked up, put it in the mouth. I put in, drink. I drink like this thing. What difference is this? Now I have not commanded the hand. It's all me, you see. People who are benefited and not others, you see. Hand is my own. And my stomach is my own. And requirement is my own, you see. Who are others? Who is other? Who is first of all ignorant? I don't believe. Who wants to be free? I don't believe. Who is not free? I don't believe. So they are joking, I am in trouble, I am bound, so I am also joking, you are not bound, you are free. It takes long time, no, now itself. All this is a joke. I take it a joke, you see. I am a bound is it not a joke? Because they don't show me the chains, nor the fetters, nor the prison. What kind of jail is this thing? Simply this. So it's a big joke. I enjoy this joke.
So when you look at people in satsang, Papaji, you don't see unenlightened people at all, you only see enlightened people. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Oh, it's a difficult question, but I have to answer because I answer all questions. First of all, I all absorb them and give them seat in my heart. In my heart, you see. As the lover gives seat to the beloved in his heart, always seated. So I open here. You all sit in my heart and we will speak together, yes sir. You are not apart from me. Within the heart, you are in my heart. Let us speak. We speak, you see, just like on the stage. We speak, yes.
Grace is clearly flowing during your satsangs, Papaji. Do you project it consciously? Does it flow from you or through you? Or is it simply there all the time?
From grace only. Grace has to come from grace. No? Wave has to come from the ocean. Grace has to come from grace, ocean of grace.
It seems to flow very strongly in your proximity, though. It seems to flow very strongly in your proximity.
I don't know.
I've heard you say, Papaji, that I know many different tricks to wake people up. If one doesn't work, then I use another.
Yeah.
What are these tricks? How do you use them?
One trick is keep quiet. Keep quiet. Second trick is do not think at all. Third trick is don't activate your mind. Third trick is you come to me, I will teach you yoga and I will show you Shirsasana. You stand in front of me, I will tell you, you stay here, head down, feet up, Shirsasana. I know it, I'll show them. And then ask me, I want freedom. Then at that time, that posture, I will tell you how to gain freedom. I will say, keep quiet. Like this, you keep quiet. So at that time, they will listen because now they are in trouble now. So that much, when everybody is troubled so much with the enjoyment of the senses, they come to me, and now this man is in trouble because he is upside down. Then he will come, he will listen to me, and some people who are upside down, they come to me, and it works this way. So I know many tricks, and I have used in the West also. If straight away somebody comes, mostly there are all good people who are coming to Lucknow. I have no problem with them. Here there are people from all over the world who are coming for the first time to India and to Lucknow, and I am very happy with them, and they listen to me what I speak to them. They listen to me as father, as one of their elders, one of their brothers, who gives them good advice so that they don't suffer any pain, physical, mental, or any kind of pain. So I give them this trick, and most people like it very well because they have got nothing to do now and simply get happiness and peace. Who doesn't want happiness? Who doesn't want peace? Who doesn't want love? Who doesn't want beauty? Everybody is interested. So they listen to me, and I am happy. Everyone is benefited, and they return to their respective countries as ambassadors from this city of Lucknow, and they send their friends, and then they go and they send others. Therefore, thousands of people have come here, and there's no complaint about it because there are no charges, and there's no ashram, there are no appeal for funds. I am living in my own house. I belong to this place, and for 50 years I am living here. Some years I've spent abroad, traveling the world, and now my old age has compelled me to stay on here. That's why you are here. Otherwise, I was going to your doors. I didn't trouble anyone, you see. So now people are here. I am very happy that some message of peace is being spread, which we need very badly. 2,600 years before it happened, and it was India who sent the messengers of peace all over the world in the form of Mahendra and Mitra, Ashoka's own son and daughter, and other people who have gone even to China, Japan, Korea, and other countries, you see, right from Burma, including Afghanistan, you see. So there was tremendous peace in the world. So let us resolve again to send this message of peace, and again from the same place. Buddha also belonged to this state. You see, I am very happy he belonged to this state. And again the message is being sent from this holy state. So this is all. You can have peace in the world and you can enlighten yourself. And this enlightenment itself is a message. When you go back, you may speak and you keep quiet. It will work. Your friends will ask you, what happened? You keep quiet. Again they will ask you, keep quiet. That's all you do.
Papaji, many people have heard you say, I have not given my final teachings to anyone. What are these final teachings, and why are you not giving them out?
They are not worthy of it. No, nobody is worthy of it to receive it. No. Because according to my experience, everybody has proved arrogant, egoistic. With the result, many people are suffering. Many people are suffering. Now another trial I am making with this recently. I will see what happens. Therefore, I don't think anybody is worthy to receive it. You have to prove holiness so that instead of helping people, why should you trouble people first of all? This is arrogance, you see. I've seen many people are troubled when I only sent a message. Only sent a message, and the messenger becomes the king. King sends a messenger for some reason to another state. So I sent this message, but this messenger has become the king itself. Yes, I have seen in many cases. What to do then? So unworthiness. Or I am too generous, I do not read people. Either it should be my mistake, because I think everybody is good. Therefore I speak the truth. But the truth will reject them, you see. Only holy person can receive this, and they have to be worthy to receive the teaching. And this worthiness will only be enabling you to receive the truth. Otherwise, it will enter into the head intellectually, and it's enough for the West to understand intellectually, and they will be very happy. That's all the West wants to know through intellect. Who knows, beyond there is something. Everybody, therefore, they say, I don't understand, I don't understand. So when I say you don't need to understand at all. There was one man, my good friend in Paris, and Krishnamurtist, followers of Krishnamurti, 35 years, and he was traveling wherever Krishnamurti went, Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, England, wherever he's gone, he was traveling and studied all the books up to date. He has studied of this thing. So somehow he came to see me also in Sana. And then I'm telling him, he said, I don't understand. I said, you are not to understand. Certain things you are not to understand. You have to be it. He said, no. You have to understand. And Krishnamurti also I don't understand. Krishnamurti, I said, you need not understand him also. Because Krishnamurti, I am at point A and Krishnamurti is at point B. And then when I shift from A and go to B, and then he shift to C, when I go to B, he shift to C, I don't understand even Krishnaji. And now I am in contact with Punjaji. Yeah. So there were a lot of talk about Punjaji and Krishnaji even in Sanan, you see. So viewpoint was differing. Some say Punjaji speaks like Krishnaji, and he removes the concepts, he also removes the concepts of the mind, and then only unless you empty the pot, you cannot be enlightened. And Punjaji also says, so one man had listened and he was a lecturer on behalf of Krishnaji. He said, no, there's a lot of difference between Krishnaji and Punjaji, and that difference is Krishnaji removes the pot and makes it empty, and Punjaji breaks the pot itself. So that is the difference, and that you can't understand. You can understand only when the cup is empty or it is full. But when the cup does not exist, what are you going to understand? So what I say is, the mind itself does not exist. You don't need to understand. Immediately you have to see and feel what it is when I speak. Mind itself is only a notion. Only a notion. You get rid of this notion. And mind is past also. Get rid of the past. And come to the present. And then I will tell you what to do next. Come to at least to the present, you see.
Many people who attend your satsangs, Papaji, have waking up or enlightenment experiences, but after a few weeks or a few months they come back and they say, I lost it.
Yes.
What is happening there?
That's happening. Again, unworthiness. Again, unworthiness, you see.
Most of the time you blame these people for losing it. You say it's your fault.
Yes, because lost it because you are not taken care of it. You are not taken care of it. When I give you diamond, it's enough for you for whole of this life. Whole of this life, you take care of or sell it. Sell it in Washington, Wall Street. You will get $30 billion for this thing. This is a diamond, Kohinoor diamond. Sell it, $30 billion, enough for you. You can do anything with throughout your life. And then when you go to fish market, buy fish and hand over this thing, and that fisherwoman also doesn't know what is this. He uses the weight of the scale. So it should not be passed on to unworthy people. And they misuse it. And then I cannot differentiate this thing. All those people who come, I tell them straight away, and they are happy also. But when they misuse it, you see. So I came, and my girlfriend separated from me, and then I phoned her, and she came. I am happy. Result of freedom. When I went back, again she left me, again trouble. So all those people tell me these stories.
Papaji, when people leave you, you never tell them, take care of this diamond I've given you, look after it. You only blame them when they come back for having lost it.
No, not all of them. Not some are very beautiful people. They write to me. They write to me, I am keeping it. This precious gift I am still keeping. Not only keeping it, I am distributing to others also. Even after distributing, I see the same amount is with me. It doesn't decrease. What a gift you have given me. Not all of them, but all of them will not be benefited, but I want that everybody should be benefited with this thing. But many are, this result is very good because I look to the other ashrams also, and I know the result which here is being happened by someone, somehow, is quite satisfactory. I am satisfied with this thing.
One final question, Papaji. All your life you've been trying to express, unsuccessfully, your own inner experience. Please make one more attempt for us. Who are you? What are you? What is your deepest and innermost experience of your own self?
Very easy reply is, I am your own self. I am your own self. And this is truth. How can it be? I am myself only. I am your own self and the self of all the beings that exist and that have to exist.
very much, Papaji.
Thank you, Mr. Godman, Mr. David, thank you. Thank you, everybody.